Have you ever had a dream so big, so clear in your mind that you could almost taste it? A dream that you worked for, day and night. A dream that became a part of who you are. And then, have you ever watched that dream shatter right in front of your eyes, not because you weren't talented enough, not because you didn't work hard enough, but because of a wall you couldn't break through? A wall made of words. 5 months ago, that was me. My name is Jake. I'm 26 years old and I was standing in the rubble of my biggest dream, completely lost. I couldn't speak a single full sentence in English without my mind going blank and my heart pounding in my chest. Today, I want to tell you how I went from that crushing failure to complete fluency in just 5 months. No expensive classes, no moving to another country, no wasting time on useless methods that don't work. But let me be clear, this isn't just my story. This is your story. If you've ever felt frustrated, stuck, or embarrassed because of your English, then I need you to listen, because I know exactly where you are. My journey didn't start with motivation. It started with a failure so profound, it changed my life forever. The failure that became my fuel. My dream was to be a software engineer at a top global tech company. I lived and breathed code. I poured years of my life into becoming the best, sacrificing nights and weekends. And then I got my shot. A huge company in the US. The email landed in my inbox like a golden ticket. Congratulations, you've been selected for an interview. My world exploded with possibility. I saw it all. A new life, a career I loved, working with the best minds in the world. And then, the interview happened. I can still feel the cold sweat on my palms. I opened Zoom, and there they were, 3 native English speakers, smiling, ready. They started talking, and it felt like their voices were on fast forward. The words flew past me, a blur of sounds I couldn't catch. Then, the first question came. Jake, can you tell us a bit about yourself and your experience? I froze. Absolute panic. The answers were all there, perfectly arranged in my head in my native language. The bridge to my mouth was broken. The words that came out were a mess. Yes, I am, software. I do coding. Many projects. Good. I am very good. The silence that followed wasn't just quiet, it was heavy. It was a judgment. It felt like a knife twisting in my stomach. They asked another question. I couldn't answer that one either. Finally, one of them gave me a polite, pitying smile and said, "All right, Jake, thank you for your time." The call ended. The dream was over. I didn't get the job, not because my skills were weak, but because my voice was. That day, I understood a brutal truth. English wasn't just a language, it was the key to the life I wanted. And I didn't have that key. For years, I had lied to myself. My skills will be enough. I was wrong. Without English, I was invisible. That night, something inside me broke. And then, something new was born. A fire, a decision. I would not just learn English, I would master it. And I would do it fast. Phase 1. Building the engine. The first 15 days. Most people start by paying for expensive classes. I had already made that mistake. A year ago, I'd spent a fortune on a course that gave me nothing but grammar drills and vocabulary lists. It didn't work. I needed a different system, a real-world system. My first breakthrough came when I realized the biggest mistake beginners make. They think they need more words. I already knew hundreds of words, but I couldn't use them. The problem wasn't my vocabulary, it was my fluency. So, for the first 15 days, I didn't learn a single new word. Instead, I focused on one thing, learning to use the words I already knew. Here's the exact blueprint, the survival script. I wrote down 50 simple, essential sentences I would need every day. Things like, "Can you please repeat that? I'm sorry, I don't understand." I am currently learning English. Where can I find a coffee shop? Every morning, I read this list of 50 sentences out loud 10 times. My tongue felt heavy at first, but after a week, these sentences became automatic. The private classroom, speaking to myself. This was my secret weapon. Whenever I was alone, I became my own conversation partner. In the shower, I am taking a shower. The water feels warm. I feel relaxed. Making breakfast. I am making eggs. I like eggs. They are easy to cook. It felt silly for about 5 minutes. Then it felt like freedom. No judgment, no fear. In just 1 week, my brain started to form thoughts in English first. The echo chamber, stealing from the prose. Every day, I chose 5 simple sentences from movies or YouTube videos, but I didn't just repeat them. I copied them. I listened to the actor and then I mimicked their exact emotion, speed, and tone. This wasn't just practice, it was training. It was fixing my accent and learning the music of the language. By the end of those 15 days, the first wall crumbled. I stopped translating in my head. I could speak in simple sentences without thinking. The fear was starting to fade, but this was just the warm-up. Phase 2, hitting the road, the real practice. Now that I had a foundation, it was time to build. I wanted to have real, flowing conversations. Here's how I did it. The question-answer. Expansion. I trained my brain to speak in longer sentences. I'd ask myself a simple question and force myself to expand the answer. Question. What did you do today? Answer 1. I worked. Answer 2. I worked on my project. Answer 3. I worked on my project for 3 hours. Answer 4. I worked on my project for 3 hours and then I took a break. This simple exercise, done for 30 minutes a day, dramatically increased my speaking speed and complexity. The Story Weaver Method. Memorizing word lists is useless. Our brains remember stories. So every day I took 5 new words and wove them into a short, simple story. New words: excited, invitation, party, arrive, surprise. My story. I was so excited because I received an invitation to a big party. When I arrived, I got a huge surprise. It was my birthday. I read the story out loud 10 times. I learned over 1,000 new words in 3 months with this method, and I remembered them because they had meaning. Living in English, training my brain. I forced my brain to operate in English. I changed my environment, my phone, my computer, everything was switched to English. I described my world. Walking down the street, my inner monologue was in English. That is a blue car. The sky is cloudy. That man is walking his dog. I kept an English journal. Every night I wrote about my day. Simple at first, but it grew more complex over time. Within weeks, the magic happened. The translation step disappeared. English words just appeared. Phase 3, the final breakthrough. The victory. I was speaking, but I wanted to sound natural. I wanted to build confidence. Grammar through observation. I stopped studying grammar books and started observing native speakers. I noticed the little things like how they use tenses differently from my textbook. I kept a notebook for confusing structures and prepositions, and I looked for patterns. Active shadowing. This was intense. I'd play a video of a native speaker, and with headphones on, I would repeat what they said at the same time. It was hard, but it was the single best thing I did for my pronunciation and rhythm. Facing the fear. I knew knowledge wasn't enough. I needed courage. I joined an online language exchange group. I was terrified, but I prepared. I practiced answering 10 common questions until they were fluid. And when I finally spoke, I realized everyone was there to learn, just like me. They didn't care about my mistakes. This killed my fear and made learning fun. 5 months after that failed interview, I applied for my dream job again. I walked into that virtual interview room a different person. I wasn't the scared boy who couldn't speak. I was a man who had forged his own key. I sat down, looked them in the eye, and I spoke. The words flowed. I was clear, confident, and passionate. I wasn't just speaking English. I was communicating. I was connecting. A few days later, the phone rang. Jake, congratulations, you got the job. My starting salary was $5,000 a month. I just stood there, tears streaming down my face. The first call I made was to my parents. My mother cried. My father, a man who rarely shows emotion, just said, "Son, we always knew you could." With my first paycheck, I bought my dad the beautiful watch he always wanted but never bought for himself. I bought my mom a gold necklace, a small thank you for a lifetime of sacrifice. In that moment, holding their hands, I knew every single second of struggle, every late night, every moment of frustration. It was all worth it. You're a blueprint for fluency, what I truly learned. If you take anything from my story, take this. Believe you can. Stop saying, "I'm bad at English." Start saying, "I am improving every day." Your mindset is the foundation for everything. Surround yourself, make English your world, change your phone's language, watch English movies, listen to English music, feed your brain constantly, speak before you're ready. The biggest barrier is fear. Mistakes are not failures, they are lessons. Speak to anyone, anytime. Speak to yourself. Just speak. Be consistent, not perfect. 15 minutes every single day is more powerful than 3 hours on one Saturday. Don't wait for perfection. Start now with what you have. This journey isn't just about learning a language, it's about unlocking a new version of yourself. So I want to ask you, what will you choose? The temporary pain of discipline or the permanent pain of regret? If I can do this, I promise you, you can do this. Your journey starts today, right now. Let's do this together.